Hope you guys are having a happy Sunday. This is Sketchaday Live. Actually, so this thing up here controls all my cameras. So if you want the better experience, hit up youtube.com/sketchaday.com. I also have a Discord channel for fans if you want to post work, comment, whatnot. I am there. So I'm going to be watching the Insta Live for a second. Oh, I think we're live on YouTube. Hey guys, welcome to Sketchaday Live. This is Spencer, aka Black Ross. I'm gonna make it a thing, so get used to it. Okay, we are live. It is Sunday. I'm looking at a bunch of different screens here, so pardon me if it looks like I'm looking into nothingness, making those adjustments. We had a pre-show with Patreons, and I say there weren't very many people there. I'm trying to grow that. So if you want to be a part of that, hit up patreon.com/sketchaday. That's kind of just open time, open forum to hit me up with ideas, suggestions, things that are on your mind, career questions, you name it. That's where I'll be. But to kick things off today, we are going to do our usual warm-up. For those watching on Instagram, this stream will go for about 10-15 minutes or so. And then we're going to cut to the YouTube stream and hang out with you guys there. So if you want the full experience, hit up youtube.com/sketchaday.com or sketchaday.live. That's the other URL. You can find the link in my bio if you're wondering. Just going to warm up with some straight lines here. I'm using a Papermate Flare, just regular printer paper. Nice and cheap. Happy Sunday. Hopefully you're having a good, restful weekend. I just worked out before the stream, had a lunch, and hung out with the Patreon. I say Patreon because only one person was there, like I said. So if you're on Instagram and you want, or even if you're just watching and you want to make suggestions and get ahead of the pack, the way to do that is via Patreon, because I'm going to be doing these pre-shows. You can get your suggestions in. So one of the suggestions today was to do handheld objects, but I'm going to expand that to challenge myself today because I suck at drawing people. And I'm going to say every sketch I do, I'm going to include some human element. All right. So I will be taking suggestions, but the main theme was set by our Patreon pre-show. So if you want to get ahead of that, hit up patreon.com/sketchaday. It's also a great way to support what we're doing here. I believe the link is in the video description. As always, check in. Let me know where you're watching from. What's up? What's good? If you're on the Instagram, this will only be a pre-show. So you're just going to get my warm-up. You're not going to get this stuff on the Instagram. So head on over to youtube.com/sketchaday.com if you want to be a part of the show. We go live 3 times a week. Wednesday evening around 5 or 6 p.m. Pacific. We also go live on Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific. And Sunday is our midday show at around 12/1 Pacific. Just depends on what's happening in my world. I'm a full-time single parent, so let's just say things happen and we never know what the day will be like. As always, check in. Let me know where you're watching from. What's good in your part of the world. Appreciate it. I am coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here. I wish we could stream outside. That'd be awesome. Chats turn off, please. That was a comment on Instagram. I'm not sure what that means, but I want to make... Actually, I'll get to that later, but I do want to say, as always, thank you for being a part of this dream of mine. Great experiment. Technology is amazing, and I love drawing and sharing that. So just warm me up with some circles, lines, ellipses, and so forth, and then we'll kick things off. I actually don't know exactly what product I will do first. I did have an idea, so if you guys hit me with an idea, I will jump on that. I thought about kicking things off with some sort of architecture sketch. Seems to be a theme here, and you guys enjoy it, so I'm trying to avoid cars. because I do those a lot, and shoes. So if you have any product ideas or suggestions that you want to see, let me know. But I will kick things off with just some architecture to start. I have a picture in my head. Game Boy says Arctic Monkey. Well, join the YouTube, hit me up, otherwise I will forget. You can also subscribe to the YouTube and turn on alerts so you don't miss these updates. Alright, final warm-up here. As always, just a couple parallel lines. And I'm going to draw some ellipses. My goal here being I want to increase the degree of these ellipses as I move down the page, or across, depends on how you're drawing, just to get a progressively wider ellipse moving down the page. Just like that. So head on over to youtube.com/sketchtoday.com. We're simul broadcasting right now to Instagram and YouTube. My internet is not dying, which is impressive. Better not, for how much I pay for it. You gotta have good internet. You gotta have good internet, good equipment, good setup to put on a good show, I think. And as always, this is why we warm up, because we are putting in our minds to practice those principles that you learn, okay? Minds and hands, right? So if I wanted to sketch some sort of car here, I've been sketching mid-engine sports cars because of the last stream, specifically Lamborghinis, trying to perfect that a bit. So it's been fun this weekend, but all this practice is really an opportunity for you, depending on the type of car, like I said, it's just putting into practice those principles in a somewhat abstract but also effective way. All right, so that's why I like to warm up in this way specifically. All right. Quick chat check-in. Whoa, YouTube chat is blowing up. Shout out to Tom, Alex, Matthew, Joel, Stephanie, Teresa, Milos, welcome back. Alfredo, hello. Handheld weapon. I don't really want to do weapons. I don't like to do weapons. What's up, Roshan? I try to stay away from controversial things like face masks, weapons. If it's a sci-fi thing, sure, but I'm not going to do real guns on the channel. In fact, once I got a contract freelance project to do some accessories for guns, and it just didn't sit well with me in the end. So yeah, try to be picky about what I do. Sorry guys. All right, anyhow, this is why we warm up in this way, because we are inputting all this information. I can add a little bit of marker, and you'll see it start to pop out quite a bit more as well. Right there, boom. Pretty easy, pretty simple, okay? So don't neglect or forget to warm up, because all of that good is right there staring you in the face. And it's pretty easy to, I think, get to something workable, even with just this series of ellipses. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to kick things off with some architecture. We're not doing Sci-Fi Sunday today. Normally we do sci-fi stuff. I'm happy to mix that in, but I don't want the whole thing to be sci-fi. So a couple housekeeping things. If you are watching on the YouTube, there is a new playlist that I created, and it is called Live Recaps. So let me open that up on my computer here. And let's see, playlists. I'm just going to switch over. All right. So here's my YouTube channel. So if you go to playlists, there's this new playlist updated yesterday called Live Recaps. If I hit view full playlist, I am starting to break out the live show into segments. So everything I sketch, if you want to see the blender or the Lamborghini or the shiny watch or rocks or the alpaca, whatever, all of that will be there. So you can check that out. And I'm doing that for you just to make it a lot easier to find the things that we cover on the live show. Anyhow, I'm excited today. Let's get started. Oops, wrong window there. There we go. Boom. All right, so there's the warm-up. Instagrammers looking at my camera, which is right above right now. I'm going to bounce over to YouTube. So if you want to catch the full show with different camera angles and all that good stuff, let me know. What I mean is we have here, let me see if I can get this down. Okay, there we go. So we've got main camera there. I've got my Mac Pro setup. I've got overhead camera, and I have an over shoulder camera as well going. So if you want to catch the full show, you'll definitely want to head over to youtube.com/sketchaday.com. All right, peace out. Catch you later. All right, guys, let's see. So like I said, I'm going to kick things off with some architecture. I'll probably go for an hour, hour and a half today. My goal is about three to four sketch pages, as always, 3 to 4 segments. We got some suggestions already. What's up, Luke? Yeah, Black Bros. I missed you in the pre-show, Luke. What happened? What happened? Missed you. Older style camera as well as SLR would be good. All right. Plenty of ideas. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Like I said, I'm going to kick things off with just a quick... I had this idea in my head, and I wanted to kind of sketch that out. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with mid-century architecture at all, but I wanted to do like a house with just... There's a house on my street. It's beautiful. And it's got these really, really long roof overhangs. And just this really lovely low sloped roof. So I'm just going to start with the roof here just to kick things off. This paper made flare is kind of shot, so I'm going to chuck it. Boom. All right, Luke. All right. I was going to give you crap for it, but like I said, for those wondering, I do have a Patreon set up just to help support what I'm doing here, and Luke is a member of that. We have Latrice, David, a few others. We have another Tom there as well, but great way to just kind of connect and be a part of all this. So appreciate you guys and your support helping out on the sketch a day. Alright, so like I said, I just had this idea for some sort of house with some low overhang, maybe positioned on a bluff. I guess I like houses on bluffs. Sketching really loose here, okay? And like I always do, try to hold your pen, you know, about halfway up the barrel. It's just going to help you with, at least it helps me anyways, with just how loose I am with my stroke. So if that's something you want to try, and let me know how that goes, if you do like it. You might notice as well, a lot of times I overdraw, meaning extend my lines out. And that's okay, because the human eye actually will see the resultant shape and not be so distracted, especially once you add marker. Won't be so distracted by the line placement itself. So that's something you can try. I'm getting a little messed up here on my brick pattern. What pens do you guys use? I always use the Papermate Flare. Well, I should say for the most part. But I am curious what pens you guys use, what you like to use, why. So let me know. I am planning on doing a video for some explanation, a bit of explanation about white pens that I've used, why I like them, what I find that works. Maybe just to help add to this presentation here, I'm gonna extend these stairs a bit closer to us, and it's just gonna help fill in part of the page here. Okay, we'll just end this right about there. Show a bit more contouring on the landscape. I always say I'm not the best artist, illustrator, but you'd be hard pressed to find someone more passionate about doing this kind of thing. Hence the name Black Ross. I just love it. All right, a couple little plants in there. You know, actually maybe over here we have, this is where the driveway is or something. There could be a small path. Yeah, driveway, man door, something like that. Garage door, maybe just a simple one car garage. But yeah, just I love homes with this super low roof pitch, you know, kind of like that. Big windows, big and airy on the inside. Like I said, I'm going to try and include people. This one will be probably a little bit easier because I'm just going to focus on silhouettes of people. But that's the idea. All the sketches we do today, we're going to throw some person or reference of a person in there. So, once again, this is Sketch-A-Day Live. I am Spencer, industrial designer, love drawing. If you have ideas, suggestions, drop them in the chat. If you want to get ahead of the pack, join the Patreon page. It's a great way to support what I'm doing, but also that's where I'm going to be pulling kind of themes for the show. Okay, we may do some private live streams as well, private lessons. So, you know, if it's successful and if you guys enjoy that, that's something I'll be offering to Patreon. So definitely check that out. I love the idea of just tons of glass. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this house here. Just tons of glass. You know, maybe there's a view. So this whole facade could be, you know, maybe glass of some sort. Discord link should be listed there. I haven't been checking it so much during the stream as I have been after. So it's a great way. I post when I post videos there. There's a community that we're kind of trying to build as well. So if you need feedback on a sketch or project or whatever, it seems as though people are, you know, willing to kind of answer questions there. So if that's something you're after, that's a great place to be as well. Just drawing a little bit on the inside of the house here. Latrice, yes, we missed you on the live. Where were you? Pigma Microns, Uni Jetstream. These are pens that people are mentioning. Papermate Flare, Bic Grip Roller. Yeah, I don't use a ton of ballpoint pens myself personally, but they are nice. I like to use the Bic Cristal pens. That's my go-to pen that I use. All right, so maybe this is the walkway up to the house, and we have, let's see, this would be below the horizon line. Or maybe some bit of a wayfinder address. That kind of thing happening here. Hopefully you guys were able to catch the live a few weeks ago. If not, check out the segments. Covered rocks and how to do some nature-y things as well. So you can check that out. Let's just do a quick retaining something here. A little bit of a retaining wall or something. Some bricks right through there. Right? I think one of the things that helps me the most when I'm sketching just to keep it chill is just relax. Like, I remember when I was working at General Motors and I had studied design at Brigham Young University in Utah. Some of you may have heard this story before, but I know a lot of you haven't. And I was so in my head and just stressed about my work and worrying about what everyone else was doing that I just couldn't even function. Okay, let's just do our people real quick because I said I was going to include some people in each sketch. People on the inside of the house here. Maybe just a couple silhouettes. Anyhow, I was so stressed that I just couldn't even function, or like I just couldn't do my best work. And so that's where and when I learned that your state of mind, frame of mind, attitude, all of that gets translated onto paper. So quite literally, your mood, your mindset becomes a part of your drawing. And there have been live streams where maybe you've noticed I haven't been my best, or you might think, oh man, Spencer is a little off today. Usually something's going on, all of that kind of plays off each other, relates to each other. Your mood becomes a part of your drawing. So if you're in a good mood, chances are you'll have a good drawing. But more importantly, relax, have fun, keep a sketchbook. Now, I don't know how many of you guys know, but I do have a website as well, sketchaday.com. It's a great place to find out what materials I use. I do have a mirror of the Instagram there as well. So if you're missing out on that, you can find it there. But more importantly, I'm going to be kicking off this week something that I haven't done in a while. And I've thought to myself, well, people won't really read these anymore. I'm talking about a blog. And what my hope is to put together just articles that are topical to the type of drawing I do or design as well. Thoughts as they arise, I'll kind of post there. And so it'll be a place for you guys to check out. I'm going to shoot for maybe 1 to 2 times a week. I'll post something. It's probably going to end up being 1 because I'm just so busy already as it is. We'll just keep working on line work here, but keep an eye out for that. The newsletter will be going active/live this week as well. That'll include discounts to the store as well as deals or just information, maybe just interesting things that I've found, whatever, as well as recaps of what was covered on the channel. So if you get a chance, sign up, check it out at sketchaday.com/newsletter. You'll find that there. Roshan says, I often see you starting sketches with your lovely papermate flair. Ever start with pencils? Not as much lately. Lately, I've been kind of just challenging myself to just go with the flair. Partly because this is a pen that does not forgive or forget. Well, maybe it forgives a little bit because it's somewhat pressure sensitive. And I can hit a line multiple times and get what I'm after. This side of the house is a little bit weird, but I'll keep it anyways. I swear, there's always something with a drawing that I do. So, guaranteed, someone's gonna comment, the left side of the house looks really weird. But that's fine. All right, let me grab some markers. grab our super cheap Ohuhu markers here. And I'll just focus on the usual suspects. My blue grays, grays, cool grays, neutral grays. How many times can I say grays on the stream today? It's a good question. What's up, Shaz? Shaz? Matthew says, doesn't forgive or forget like my other half. Man, tell you what, I've been there. If you remember a while back, I disappeared online for quite a bit. And let me tell you, man, relationships are no joke when you are dissolving one. So, I feel you. Happy Sunday. I'm in good spirits. Hopefully you guys are too. This is Sketch-A-Day Live. Just kicking off with an architectural sketch to warm up. This segment will be available later on the YouTube. Whenever you're shading anything, you want to think of potential lighting, right? Where is your light source, okay? And how does that... This is a little bit easier, and your light source is going to be above. You're not typically going to have any kind of crazy lighting scenarios, meaning, you know, sunset is sunset, or sunrise is sunrise, or midday, or whatever. So you're not having to deal with too many unique scenarios, so to speak. And then we'll vignette this. I'm not going to color the whole page in. Okay. For you guys who are new, if you're new to the stream, appreciate it. Thanks for being here. But also, I do post the sketches afterward to my Google Drive. That link should be in the video description. So I'll take photos of these since I'm drawing a little bigger today. I wanted to draw big. It's been a while. It's convenient to draw small, but it's actually better to draw big. I know a few of you have reached out to me about tutoring privately. I will get back to you shortly. I'm working on coming up with proposals that work budget-wise, but also time-wise for me and for you guys. So appreciate you being patient. Just a little bit of yellow here for some of these highlights. You know, maybe on this lightly covered hilly area. And now for the house itself. Just gonna grab some browns, maybe some warm grays as well. I'm feeling orange. I'm feeling like the house, parts of it, because it's got this low roof hang, should be like orange or something. So I'm gonna pull some of that in as well. Latrice says, sometimes it's hard to focus and know what to draw. I feel you. This morning, I didn't really come into focus for me until I was working out. I was doing kind of high impact interval training on my driveway. Just real quick. Or not quick, but just a little mini session, keeping it simple. I miss the gym. I work out a lot. Anyhow, it didn't really click for me until I was doing something completely unrelated to sketching. And sometimes that's the case where you're trying to be creative and you feel like you hit a mental block. I know I had asked a while back about suggested topics for videos, and a few people were like, yeah, how do you get over creative blocks and, you know, make things work? And for me, that's just one of the ways, is doing something completely unrelated to the task at hand. Kind of helps. At least it helps for me. Would I buy my cheap markers again? Absolutely, without a doubt, without hesitation, without even thinking about it. I would absolutely buy these again. They're pretty fantastic. again, price to performance, right? That's at least that's how I'm looking at it. Is how much did I buy these for? What can they do? And is it worth it? And truth be told, a lot of art, visual expression creation isn't so much about the tool you're using. It's not always true, but it's not always about the tool. Sometimes it's about how you're using the tool. In fact, maybe a good idea for a stream would be me doing some rendering or something with like kids' crayons. And like everything is with, cheap kids markers or just pencils or whatever. Because I just want to show you it's not all about the type of material you use, but it can be about how you use those materials, how you think about the materials, what best practices you're using, your mindset, all of that stuff makes a huge, huge difference. Welcome again to the show. Thank you for hanging, being a part of this. This is Sketch A Day Live. Just keeping it trill today, using markers, pens, keeping it simple. I'm going to make this front gray, just like that. Pretty cool. And we've got our window splits right there, inside the house as well. Yeah, that would be really cool. Just like that. So this week I'm actually going to be on Adobe Live as well. Adobe Live is it's kind of, think of it like their Netflix for all things creative that they're trying to build out. Or you could think of it like Twitch creative, but there's no video games on Adobe Live. Anyhow, I'll be there and I'll be doing some Photoshop interior design comps. So if you're trying to change the look of a room, something like that, add some textures, make things interesting, I'll be talking about my approach to that. I actually used to renovate homes just for fun. That was also one of my brief career stints. I used to call them design flips. So happy to talk about that sometime, or maybe in one of the Patreon pre-shows for you awesome little monsters. I like to call you little monsters. I hope that's okay. I don't mean to offend anyone. This is feeling pretty good. But yes, I will be live this week. So if you want to come hang out, check that out. I will be posting links. Basically, I'll say this. As long as you subscribe to any of my online properties, just make sure you have alerts turned on. And you absolutely will not miss when I post. I do post a lot of stuff. I understand not everyone can see everything all the time, and that's okay. And I do appreciate the support, but if you're looking forward to something or you just love the updates, that's the way to do it, is subscribe and turn on alerts, and you just won't miss. All right, let's do the inside of the house here. Just a little bit of brown, gray, just something neutral. Something neutral there. And then we'll do just a little background and call it good. So, question, what should we do next? The theme today is, well, not theme so much as challenge. I'm challenging myself to include a person in every sketch. And it might be as simple as a silhouette of a person, but it could also be a full person doing something. So hit me up. Let me know what you think. Or what you'd like to see, rather. And if you're just joining, we go live 3 times a week, so don't worry if you feel like you missed out of something. I also post the sketches online on the Google Drive that we have for the show. Link should be in the video description as well. Mountain bike in action or motocross. Oh, what's up, Chris? Yeah, you're one of the people I need to get back to, so my apologies. All right, motorbike in action or motocross. That sounds fun. Sounds like a challenge. Honestly. A couple little texture dots here. Again, just keeping it loose. Sign your work always. Couple things I want to do. I'm gonna go ahead and just on the inside shade over with some gray on this overhang as well. I want the inside to be dark but not completely opaque. Just make it a little bit darker in there. If there needs to be any shadowing, I can do that as well with this gray marker just on top of the colors. Alright, just to give this, like the door, a little bit of depth here or here. Alright. Got a request for shoes. I'm trying to avoid shoes because I do shoes quite a bit. So maybe if we run out of ideas completely, then I'll look at doing something shoe related or foot related. But I think I'll tackle the mountain bike next. That sounds like a big challenge. And mountain bike in action, right? So like going downhill or something like that. At least that's what comes to mind right now. Maybe like some sort of downhill, downward trajectory. All right, something like that. Quick architectural sketch. Probably a lot more I could do, but we'll leave it there for now. All right. Set that to the side. Okay, so Chris Antle, thanks for the suggestion, and thank you, Chris, for the support in the past. I want to give Chris a shout out because of my fans. He's been a serious contributor, and it means a lot, especially in this time of uncertainty, to extend oneself to help out. And I feel like I'm doing what I love, and I love that you guys are a part of this. So to you, Chris, thank you specifically. If you do want to contribute, there are links, not links, but mentions on the video frame here. So there's Venmo and PayPal if you wish to contribute, which is a good segue. Last show we had a couple contributors. We had, let's see, did I lose my page here? We had Remy, who contributed over a PayPal. Thank you, Remy, for the support. We also had Latrice, new Patreon, and David Ortega, new Patreon as well. Welcome, and thank you to, I guess, the family, the group, the posse. What should we call us? Sketchalites? I have no idea. Either way, thank you for being a part of this, and this is awesome. Okay. So mountain bike in action. I mean, it kind of depends on, the view. Like, let's say you're heading downhill or something, and you've got a bike like this. See, I'm trying to remember what these frames look like. I'll just draw some lines in, just as kind of a reference here. All right, so we'll start with something like this. This is gonna be like a rough sketch. We're just going freestyle, unless it gets terribly messed up. All right, so just kind of start sketching in a frame. like so. And as far as the perspective goes, I'm imagining my perspective lines are kind of converging down, but this bike, I guess maybe the bars here are a little turned, and then we've got the seat. Let's see. Seat like so, and then the rider. I'm just trying to imagine. So, like I said, I am not the best. There's like maybe some scene off in the distance. Here in Utah, you have this like incredible ability to mountain bike and just see these amazing things. So, just views and like it's just gorgeous here. So, you know, maybe this biker is like heading downhill a little bit through this ravine or something. Actually, if this were downhill, the wheels would be shifted a bit more, but we'll just keep it for now. So we've got pedal. Someone asked what marker was it that I used for the colors. These are Ohuhu brand markers. Ohuhu, or is it Ohuhu or Huhu? I have no idea. Either way, I reviewed them on the channel, so if you do want to check them out, they're on the channel. Just look up Ohuhu or cheap marker review, and you'll find them. All right, that's a terrible angle. I need to adjust that camera. Henry Roa, too kind. All right. So something like this for the bike frame. Now, full disclaimer, I am not a bike designer. I'm going off memory here. This is not my forte. That being said, I'm going to do my best for you guys. I may have to pull up some reference and fudge a few things. But sketching light like this, you can always sketch light till you get it right. And then when you're in a place where you feel confident, then you can add the details. Or even better yet, do an overlay. I'm trying to avoid doing overlays right now. All right, so person sitting here, I'm just going to start with something of a cylinder and then the body like so. And then depending on how you're holding the handle, you might have a situation like this for your head, helmet, and all that. So just throw a couple lines in for reference. We'll add the fidelity where it needs to go. This leg I want shooting out or up, and then this one would be down, or more down rather. Okay, so something like this. Okay, we got one pedal up, one pedal down. I guess if you're clipped in, your foot would be more like this. I think this sketch is going to need an overlay. So I'm going to keep this one rough, and then we'll do the overlay. All right? Because we're just a bit too far down the roughness here to like really make this work and not feel like a complete mess. So as far as like body parts go, I'm really just thinking of, okay, there's a cylinder here. There's a connecting bit between, right? The pelvis, kind of like a cylinder as well. The legs, like a cylinder. So in terms of raw geometry, that's how I'm thinking about things in my head. And I find that helpful, personally, to just break it down. So when in doubt, rough it out, break it down, and you'll find that things just become that much easier. Okay, so this is enough of an underlay for me, I think. Let me think. Okay, chain's usually on the right side, so I can sketch in some sort of chain, and if it's going through a derailleur, it typically looks something like this. Kind of have your derailleur over here. Shocks up front, like so. We'll just sketch those in. And I'm not looking at any reference for this. Maybe that'll show, or maybe that'll be apparent when you see the final sketch. But in any case, let's say the seat is somewhere here. Somewhere here. Seat. Leg. Okay. When in doubt, rough it out. Helmet. Like so. I'm not good enough to the point where I feel like I can just draw a person. Sometimes I can, but not always. I'm not to the point where I feel like, oh, one shot, person, boom, and it's perfect. But I do want to get to that point. And that's why I practice. And also keep it real with you guys. You know, maybe this is the trail. Just kind of biking on some trail. Going out. But that's why I keep it real with you guys. And if I suck at something, I'll just be straight up and be like, yo, this is my first time doing this, or whatever the case may be. Keep it single speed. All right. We'll keep it a single speed downhill mountain bike. And I do want to rotate this guy. So what I'm going to do is actually just tear this paper. This is like old school Photoshop, right? Sometimes when we were sketching, we used to like just take the underlay and then just destroy it and do something else with it. So like I wanted to rotate this, but it wasn't going to fit. And I think it'll make for a more interesting sketch. Yeah, sometimes they have the middle suspension, not always. I'd have to look that up. Let me just take a quick look. Downhill MTB. I'm just looking on the Google here. And yeah, a lot of times I'll just for reference, look up a picture. Hopefully nothing crazy shows up. You never know with Google. Sometimes like random stuff will just show up. But yeah, I'll just look at a picture just to be like, okay, generally speaking, here's how it kind of works. I don't really want to do all of this funky stuff here, so I'm going to keep it as a fixed tail mountain bike. Nice shocks. I need some more clearance on the wheel, it looks like. So I'll try and work that stuff in, but also keep it simple. All right, guys, this is Sketch-A-Day Live. Sunday show. Thanks for joining and being a part of this. This is your first time, hit that subscribe button. Turn on alerts, because you're in for a hell of a ride. I guess today, because we are sketching a bicycle, specifically a mountain bike here. Alright, I'm just going to overdraw some stuff like so. I'll figure all this out. Maybe there's a secondary triangle or something. What do you call it? Triangle truss? Is that the technical term? Couple offset ellipses here for a wheel. I'll probably have to change this a little bit as well. While I'm doing this, let me know what color you would like the bike to be. Yeah, let me know what color. Just fudging a little leg in here. And maybe I can get away with not showing, you know, all the stuff on this other leg in the back. We'll see what I can get away with. Yeah, the interesting thing about scenes like this is Even the helmet itself could be a design exercise. So it's hard to, just kind of treat this as, okay, here's a helmet-like thing, when it could easily be its own sketch and project. Alright, just want to get his hand, a few fingers. Handle or stem of the bike. I have a Trek, what do you call it, a Fat Boy bike that I've been meaning to get fixed, but maybe there's some graphics on this dude's shirt. Anyhow, I've been meaning to get that fixed, but haven't yet. So while I'm finishing this up, let's start thinking about the next thing you guys want to see. On the channel here. Like I said, my goal is to do about 3 or 4 depending on the time that we have. I can probably do 4 today. So just keeping it loose. But like I said, I'm going to be bringing back a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I had a website called ID Sketching. And as the name implies, it was specifically industrial design focused where Sketchaday came from. But one of the things missing from ID Sketching that, frankly, I've had a few people ask for is this whole blog content. I had articles about kind of the technical aspects of sketching. And so I want to bring that back. So look out for that. I know it's another thing to watch, read, subscribe, whatever, but for those who find value there, I'm happy to do that for you. Maybe there's some zipper with life, and I love that you guys are supporting and that there's just a lot of good energy. For a while too, YouTube was just terrible with real talk. Let's get real with you guys. I'm black, and there were just so many racist comments. It was depressing, I would get on and read comments and just feel terrible. And I won't repeat some of the ones that people would say, but man, it was hard. So I definitely appreciate you guys keeping it real, keeping it clean, positive. If anything is apparent right now, it's that a lot in the world is changing, and I'm encouraged by the creativity and love and kind of coming together of everyone to support everyone else. That's pretty awesome. Handheld gimbal for a camera, Roshan. I can do that. But yeah, I do appreciate the positivity and the positive energy. That's what I'm about, is just let's help each other. That's why I made the Discord. It's not so much for me to respond to everything you guys share, but for a place for you to help each other, make friends, connections, all that good stuff. So thank you sincerely to all of you who've either contributed or helped or whatever in any way. So I'm not going to go through the trouble of doing a super knobby tire, but I'll just hint at some tread here. A couple scribbles. Even this is kind of whoa, what's happening down here? Pro tip, or not pro tip, but one thing I've noticed is with the human eye, if you can reasonably represent something, many times the human brain will fill in the blanks. Now, it's up to you to figure out what that threshold is of acceptable. Oh yeah, you did say single speed, but whatever. I'll just fake it in. It's like, yeah, because this whole area is just a complete mess. But if you can get something close enough, a lot of times the human brain will just like, oh, okay, I get it, bike. But if I were doing this as a like full presentation sketch, which I know I need to do on the channel and show you guys how I do that, so that's coming. I did buy a Cintiq to kind of help with you guys who use Wacom products, but a lot of times the human brain will just fill in the rest, is my point. All right, a couple more knobby treads here. Even outline of the tire, you know, I could do something like this on the far side. Just kind of change the outline. Something like that. Yeah, that's feeling pretty good. So we've got our person here. It's got muscular calves, socks, heading downhill. What am I even saying? I forgot. Fiona says, give energy and time to areas that matter and work for you. So much hurt in the world without adding extra. Yeah, I believe that 100%. Energy is a lot like water. You have to just let it flow and be in a good place where you can share that energy. I believe this is my test of sorts, that if I keep doing this and I believe in myself, that something good will happen. So I do appreciate all the support. I know I keep saying that, but I really do mean it. High socks. All right. We'll change that. I'll color it in. Yeah, it's been too long. I used to ride every morning. I would ride up this giant hill near my house. Like, it was just an insane elevation climb. And I used to do that every morning. And then one day I had a terrible, terrible accident. I was trying to see how fast I could go down this hill every morning. I would push myself. Hey, I made 40 miles an hour. Well, 41. Well, this one morning I made 50 miles an hour downhill. And I was kind of coming up on the area where I knew I would have to turn. And so I bank into the turn. Well, turns out there was some construction and gravel on the road. Actually, this bike stem here is wrong. Let me see if I can fix it. Okay. Anyhow, there was some construction on the road, and I bank into the turn, lean in, and sure enough, the back wheel, this wheel just slips out from under me, and all of a sudden it's like I'm just rolling, tumbling on the ground. Not even the ground, but in the street. I mean, this is a busy road, and I felt stupid for it because I knew better. I just felt invincible, and so I like hit the road, and I'm tumbling, and it's just kind of scary, you know. Anyhow, so I come to, and this guy is like, "Hey, you all right, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'll make it home." And I'm laughing because my entire leg is just shredded, just a bloody mess, super shredded. And this guy is like, "You sure you're okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And so I make it home. And I get in the door. I'm married at this point. And I get in the door, and my wife's like, "You're okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And as soon as I start talking, like, all this pain just comes back. And I'm just like, "Oh!" And I just start screaming. Because I was just in shock. I was in absolute shock from the wreck. So since then, I haven't ridden as much. I've definitely been just doing more chill workouts. And if I do ride, it's just around the neighborhood with my kids, stuff like that. So this is not Copic A3 paper. This is actually Bianyo. It's required that I say that at least 3 times differently. Bianyo. Marker paper. Super cheap on Amazon. That's what I'm using. Thanks for the question, though. And yeah, Roshan, I recovered. It's just mentally, when you go through a traumatic experience, that trauma is real. And it sits with you and sticks with you. And it's kind of hard to shake. So that was years ago, and I still refuse to, like, ride on busy streets. I won't do it. Because I felt like it was almost like a brush with fate or death or whatever. So I just won't do it. Yeah, I gotta fix that over shoulder camera. I used to use it more, but it's an older camera too. I probably should get like a newer Sony to hook up to that one. An asymmetric outfit. Like this one has a long pant leg, and this side doesn't. But what was I saying? Shoot, I forgot. Now I don't even remember. I'm gonna sound like a psycho. If you're just joining, this is Sketch Day Live. I'm Spencer, and I forgot what I was talking about. Adrenaline got me. Yeah, the adrenaline got me in that moment, for sure. And once that left my body, all the pain just rushed in. And the crazy part, too, I don't know if he's watching today, my friend Jose Gamboa, I was supposed to go to Costa Rica to do one of his kind of sketch boot camp things down there. So I had to like bandage my entire leg and fly for hours while nursing this injury. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Just a little shadow on the backside here, literally, and by that I mean the far side. Hint at some folds, arm. We'll just keep the helmet simple. So yeah, that was probably the closest brush with death I've had in my life, and it rocked me. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about trauma. But yeah, when you go through a traumatic experience, it kind of sits with you for a bit. And yeah, it's easy to say, just get over it and move on, but it's almost like every time you go to do that thing, it just gets fresh in your head. It's crazy. The brain is incredible at just all the things the brain does. Tell you what. Alright, so the bike frame, I'm going to make it blue just because I think the blue will play nicely with this orange, but just kind of pop as well. Thanks for joining me on Sketch Day Live. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on alerts. Yeah, Fiona, when you're younger, at least when I was younger, I thought, nothing can hurt me, and then you get hurt and you're like, oh, yeah, I can. Do, do, do. Alright, so I've kind of identified where the frame is here, but I need to... Actually, his butt shouldn't be on the seat because the seats drop down pretty low, but whatevs. So now that I've established where the frame is, I'm going to actually just boost these outlines just a little bit. And truthfully, this sketch could benefit from another overlay, but I don't want to do that today. So in other words, I could take this, throw another piece of paper on, get it done. Similar process if you're working digitally as well. You kind of do multiple iterations until you find the one that works for you, or works for the sketch concept, whatever it is you're trying to show, and you just roll with that. We'll add some white here as well, just to kind of give some dimension to all this. I hope my friend Federico is not watching this. He's a bike designer. He's probably shaking his head. Thanks, Roshan. Roshan, you should follow him on Instagram. You can post your link, dude. Also a super talented guy. He's been following me for a while. So just want to give you a shout out, bro. Love your work. Keep it up. I feel like there's not a lot of people who keep it real these days. So definitely want to celebrate those who do. And you are one of them. All right. And some of this stuff I'll just keep that gray. And then the skin, let's go ahead and do that. Some skin tones. I'm gonna grab my Copic markers for this. Kind of my go-to. So again, paying attention to light source. So if this arm has a cross section, we're still going to get shadow cores and highlights. So you want to pay attention to that. All right. I need something dark for here, but I don't want to do black. So I'll use this cool gray. And hope I don't completely bungle things. Maybe use some black as well. Daryl, I just started teaching myself industrial designing. What's the best practice for getting perspective and beautifying down? Well, like I mentioned on the channel, we have playlists. I'm trying to expand that and clean that up a bit. That's one of my projects for this week. So you can check that out, but also, you know, hit me up, email me. I can make videos if there's a topic that you're interested in that just doesn't exist on the site. I'm happy to look into making that a thing. So don't be shy about that. But the best way is just to email me or hit me up on the socials. I'll make a note of it. Or comment on a video, I guess. It's also a way to do it. And I'll make a note of it and make sure that I kind of address that. So thank you for the question though. And for being here. Sketch Today Live, we're sketching a downhill mountain biker. This is all from my head. That's why it looks messy and very imperfect. Probably needs another overlay, but we're not quitting. We're just going with it. We're rolling with this. That feels a lot better. Do I work in CAD software? Yes. I'm actually 3D printing something right now for my kids. And I have a CNC router I've kicked off a few personal projects on. Yeah, just some personal projects. That's all I'll say. I do want to do some of that with you guys on the channel here, so stay tuned. If that's not your cup of tea, that's alright. We'll still have all the stuff you're used to seeing here on the channel, so don't worry. You know, I'm going to try and keep the color basically right around here. What CAD software do I use? It might be free or just really cheap. So that's what I'm using right now. I also use SketchUp quite a bit, particularly where I get, sorry about that guys, particularly where I get projects related to interior design. Sorry, my sister just called me. Okay. So yeah, whenever I'm doing an interior design project, I will use SketchUp quite a bit. I've done some set design production for TV as well, and I'll use SketchUp for like an underlay, and then just finish it out digitally after. Alright, so something like this. We did a digital show on Wednesday, or no, Friday. Friday was our digital show, my bad. So if you like sketching with digital stuff, you can check that out. I like to do pen on paper because it keeps me fresh. And like I said before, when your pen doesn't forgive or forget, it makes it that much harder. Something good about doing hard things in terms of developing your skills and skill set. So that's why I do it. I love the challenge. There's nothing, well, I shouldn't say nothing. It's just such a good feeling, like when you're working on a drawing and then you get to a point where it just feels good. Like, oh, I love it. I love it. And like I said, not everything I do is perfect. In fact, most are far from it, but I am passionate, I'm committed, and I hope you feel the love and just that joy. And I hope that motivates you guys to push yourselves. When I was a student, we didn't really have a lot of people doing this. And if there were, you were having to pay inordinate amounts of money to have them teach you. So this is a bit of a, hey, what's up? Thank you. And like I said before, I really do appreciate the contributions when they are made, but no obligation there. It means a lot that you're even here. Actually, I should make the forks like orange as well. Means a lot that you're here and participating on the stream. Thanks for joining. I don't have my usual white pen that I use, so I'm going to try this one and see how it goes. It's a little bit more translucent than I would like. This is a Sakura Pen Touch pen. Also has a pump tip. There we go, that's a bit better. It's a lot of white that just came out there, but I think it kind of works. And the white just kind of helps with any secondary light sources or highlights that you might want to add. You know, be careful, let that dry. I made some mistakes here, but I'll come back in with some blue marker, and I think it'll help mellow things out a bit. As well. All right, something like that. Stephanie says she uses SolidWorks. Yeah, try SketchUp. I mean, SketchUp is not a tool for like advanced, crazy surfacing or anything, but if you're just looking to do like quick and dirty underlays that you can draw over, or it might just be simple parts for additive or subtractive manufacturing, you can do that. I bought it when I designed and built my own house, and I needed to do some technical drawings for like the kitchen cabinets I was building by hand. So that's when I got it and why I have the license. I bought the full pro license and everything. So I learned a ton. And there's a pretty vibrant community of extensions as well. So if you are looking to do something a bit more complicated, chances are you'll find a way to do that with SketchUp. It'll just take a little effort, but you can usually figure it out. I feel like I need to do a portfolio review show or some sort of show where I kind of show you some of my professional work. If you're interested in that, let me know. I'm curious. I'll be happy to go over a project and maybe some of the things I learned during that project. There's a couple of products that I designed at my last company that are out now in the market, so I could talk about that and things I learned and all of that. So let me know if you're interested. All right, so there's our mountain biker. A couple things I would change. I think he needs to be a little bit higher on the seat. I probably could work things out a bit more in the foreground and all that, but for the sake of time, I'm going to push along. We're an hour and 18 in. Thanks for being here and being a part of the stream today on Sketchaday Live. Much love, as always. All right. It's so hard to know when to stop. Like, I just want to keep going. It's like, oh. Let's just keep going, guys. I'm kind of bummed, though. I ordered some new markers, and they didn't come before the show. I was hoping to try them out, test them out. So I got some paint markers, and then I got some new chart packs. Some of you in the past have contributed and helped me get some more markers. And then I thought, okay, I've sold a few brushes. Let me get some more markers so I can review. So I got some Shinhan Touch, and I got some chart pack markers. So there'll be another review coming out, just giving some of my thoughts on those markers. But so far, I have to say the winner, if you're looking at spending some serious money on markers, still Copic. But if you're on a budget, these Ohuhu markers are pretty fantastic. So check out that review on the channel. All right, so next sketch we had, let me sign this one real quick. Okay, there we go. Just recap, if you missed the beginning of the show, we also did just a quick architectural sketch. A couple things I would change here. The roof looks a little bit broken. Maybe the angle here is off. But it's cool. It's fine. Should have finished the top here as well. Completely missed that. There we go. Now we're better. All right. So we did this architectural sketch. We did our quick mountain biker. All right. Home stretch. We got 2 more topics. What are we doing next? Quick chat check-in. Hello, hello. Let's see. How about something worn on the head or face? Give me some ideas there. And then I want something with like a hand in it as well. So let me know. Let's see. Okay, we got shoes, but I don't want to do that again. Chain stays. Red. Okay, color. Alright, so as far as the stuff I use, it's just sketchaday.com/stuff. There's a link you can check out. So check that out. Night vision goggles. Okay, or VR set. I like night vision goggles. That'd be fun. So let's do that. Scuba gear on the diver. Okay, that's a good one as well. PlayStation controller. Okay, I will do controller. I'll do night vision goggles. And let's see. These are like military and stuff. All right, they kind of look like binoculars. Seems like, but also. All right, this is kind of my generic head template that I use. And the reason for this is I don't want the head or person to take away from the product. All right, so I'll typically use something like this. And then just sketch on top. Okay. This is kind of my generic thing you guys are seeing. So there's my head. So now we'll do some sort of night vision goggle. And I'll make sure to highlight the product and not the person in this one. We'll keep the person just kind of gray. So it looks like we have 2 eye cups to start. And I'll just draw an axis here. And it looks like there's some central... I'm not sure what you call this. Is this a monocle of some sort? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you call this, but this should be a fairly quick sketch. So we'll be able to get a bunch of these in, just different things you guys want to see. All right. I mean, I imagine if this is on your head, there's probably some sort of thing to keep it in place. I'll just keep these lines here, not suggesting they're necessarily part of the product, because we'll highlight the product using markers and whatnot. Okay, but maybe there's some adjustment mechanism up front here. You know, some sort of knob. I'm just kind of thinking how I might... So usually when I draw stuff and I want to throw a hand in, I'll kind of think about, or even show my hand holding the thing. But I'm trying to think of how I might do this here. Okay, it's got some fingers. All right, 4. All right, so I might do something like this. And then we'll just make this kind of a vignette with a background. Keep it sketchy. But this I want it to be some sort of knob that's like knurled. And I can pull that out of the sketch just by increasing the line weight where it matters. Okay, so something like that. Maybe I'm making an adjustment right there. All right, we've got these intersecting shapes. Another drawing that could probably benefit from an overlay, but we'll keep it real. Actually, I wanted this to be central, so make a little change here. And then I want these to be able to flip up, so I'm going to have this central vignetted piece. And maybe this attaches to some sort of helmet thing. We'll just vignette it out. Vignette, just basically show a portion of it, but not commit to it being the final thing. Right through there. All right, something like that. All right, so the form itself, let's go with this chart pack. Got a cool gray, or sorry, neutral gray 2. So anything that's upward facing, I'm going to keep light. Anything that is to the side or down, I'm going to keep dark. Here, just under the hand. And this is what I mean by quick. This is just a quick sketch here to kind of pull the concept out of the rough sketch that we created. There are different types of sketches. I've posted this link before, but if you're looking for information on different types of sketches, I have a link for you. Hang tight. Or I guess I could just show you. So if you go to Sketch-A-Day on YouTube, hit this search. I'm trying to remember what I was going to show you guys. I totally had a brain fart. Anyhow, basically you can just search for anything. So if there's something, for example, on hands, we can type that in. How to draw rounded corners, how to draw hands. If you wanted to find something on cars, just type car, hit enter, and you should have all the videos on how to sketch cars just popping up, okay? There's also the playlists, if you tap on that, and then you have, and I'll be working on this section like I said, but things like, oh, here's some collaborations that I've done, here's time lapses, architecture related stuff, here's all the live recaps, and so forth. So that's a little bit on the website and what you can find there. Okay, so back to this guy. I'm gonna make the lens here a little bit of green. We'll just do green and black. Just like that. So now that I have this base contrast in, I'm gonna take a little darker marker and just where I need it, add some secondary shadowing to this whole thing. Just like so. Again, focusing on the sides away from the light. Just to help push this. Squint your eyes if necessary. It kind of helps with identifying areas that need extra contrast or definition. It takes away the detail of what you're doing and helps you just focus on those values. And so as not to overwhelm the viewer, I'm not finishing out the person so much as I am using the elements of the person as supporting elements to the sketch concept. All right, so that's the idea there. Add line weight where necessary, and hopefully you guys can see if you were to do like an overlay here, it would help add a bit of additional clarity, but we'll just keep it loose today. And maybe we'll add some notes. Night vision. All right, sketching link. Let's see. Yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna share with you. My apologies. I feel silly for that. Tell you what, it's hard to like draw and talk at the same time. Sometimes I forget how hard that is, but it is kind of hard. All right, so there's our hand holding product. Let's see. We've also got scuba gear on the diver. So do you mean like a diver underwater? Like the whole body? Because we can do that. You know, just sketch like a whole person. Just keep it loose. And do like big tank on the back. Head and so forth. I mean, that's certainly something we could do, if that's what you meant. Something like this. And then as far as the scuba gear goes, a little affordance for the nose. Got a snorkel. Or is it a regulator? I don't know. Maybe it's just a snorkel. Or the snorkel's like off to the side or something. And this is the regulator. So, as always, just kind of keep it loose. I'm trying to think of the forms. So, like, even with this leg, maybe this one's a little bit down or something. I think that would help. And then I can do the big flipper fin thing right about there. Something like that. Actually, that feels better. Oh, hi, Roshan. Roshan's girlfriend. That's cool. A lot of people. I married a designer. I don't think I'll do that again, but for a few reasons. But yeah, kudos to you, man. So the cool thing is with this body, since it's in a wetsuit, I can kind of sketch nice and dark because the wetsuit's going to be gray. And so I can kind of like figure things out here with my marker without being too self-conscious about the final lines. Just keep it nice and loose, because if I ever wanted to, for real, I could just do an overlay, you know. Scuba training is something I've always wanted to do, but I've never committed to doing it. But yeah, would be fun. Let's throw some bubbles on here. I love loose sketching because I love to move fast and just get out as many ideas as possible. I'm not the type of person that typically sits there for hours and hours on one sketch. Although I do think it's important to have that competency, and I can do it. I just don't love it as much as I love being able to put out a bunch of sketches real fast. Alright, so let's get this suit done. And I'm going to use, let's see, add some sharks in the back. I guess I could. Let me think. Sharks. I need to look up a shark. Because last week we did a dolphin. And I don't want to necessarily sketch another dolphin. Alright, so something like this. I'm trying to see if I can just capture what the eye looks like on a shark. My kid is real funny. He's always like, "Dad, I've got a random fact for you." I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" And then he'll say just something completely random. Like the other day, he's like, "Dad, did you know that dolphins can drown?" And I was like, "No, I actually had no idea." I mean, I did, because they're mammals, but still, it's just funny. He always has tons of random facts. Alright, so maybe something like that. For our shark. And our diver's like looking at some weird corals or something. Just keep it loose. Oh, something like that. Some fish in the background. Okay. So let's get this guy's suit. Like I always say, pay attention to your light source, whatever that may be. Because that's what's going to help communicate your form. All right. And then for the highlights, we can try and play and like do some creative stuff. Like, what if the highlights were blue instead of pure white? What does that mean? So I'm going to use this PB1. Well, maybe not this PB1 because it's very dark. These markers are deceptive. I'll tell you what. Sometimes you think you're picking a very light color. Turns out you're picking a very dark color. So maybe I will just use this blue-gray 3. Something like that. Just to kiss these highlights a little bit. and then we'll work on making sure that we have enough contrast here and there. So to do that, I think I left my super awesome black pen upstairs that I like to use. It's a Pitt Artist brush pen. So I'm going to go ahead and just use this Copic marker. Alright, so just some good contrast to kind of push our form and help separate this all out a little bit. And then we'll do these tanks. I guess the tanks are typically dark anyways, like gray or whatever. So it's just a gray scuba diver. The sharks as well. Alright. I do want some color in this somehow, so maybe there's just a couple. I guess orange is our color of the day. Alright. So orange is our color of the day. Should we do that, or would that be too like Sesame Street? Today's color is orange. Orange, you glad to be here today? Could do that. Yeah, that helps a ton. I think the orange just helps elevate this quite a bit. So couple little shading things here. If you've ever looked at comic books, so I grew up reading, not really reading, but rather admiring comic book art. But you can learn a lot of techniques if you just pay attention to how certain things are done, shading, whatever. There's a guy I follow online, his name's Ryan Otley. He illustrates for Spider-Man. Check his stuff out. But point is, you can learn a lot about just lighting and working with blacks from comic book artists and how they treat shadow. Super interesting stuff. Yeah, poor dude doesn't see the sharks coming to kill him. Alright. Do I watch comic book movies? Yes. I am shameless when it comes to comic book movies. Like, me and my kids, we love the crap out of those Marvel movies. We've watched them several times over and over and over again, Roshan. So, yeah. I'm all about that life. How about you guys? Are you just like over comic book movies? It's been interesting watching how the movie industry has been responding to all of this as well. You know, the fact that I could watch a new release movie at home, it's kind of nice. I'm an introvert. You probably don't realize that. Some of you don't. People are always surprised when I tell them I'm an introvert. But I'm an introvert. And I love the fact that I could just watch this movie at home. We watched Trolls 2 with my kids. Actually a pretty good movie, I will say. But we just paid, I think it was $20 to rent it. So we paid for it and then just watched it. It was great. I didn't have to go to theater and be around people and like all of this stuff. It was just awesome. So yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all for it. all for these changes. Don't hate me, but I love that everyone's not watching sports right now. It's kind of cool to see how creative everyone's being. Just out of necessity. It's like, hey, we still have to work. We still have to learn. We still have to teach. All these things. And just seeing how much creativity there is out there. It's pretty cool. So I've been enjoying that, personally. I know some people hate it. I feel for you. I get it. But yeah. Latrice is also an introvert. Yeah. I'm all about that introvert flow, man. All about it. You know, if there's any regret I had about my college time, it's that I didn't take a figure drawing class. I wish I'd taken a figure drawing class. I tried to when I was married, but my wife at the time wasn't having it, so I kind of gave up on that. But it's something I've always wanted to do, and I probably still will do it. Yes, those Marvel movies, they are inspiring as far as, you know, trying to find content for... This is way too yellow for the ground, so I'm not going to do it. Finding inspiration for how to, like, draw certain things. Super helpful. Okay, same thing. I'm not going to finish that one because I want to do one more sketch, and I just don't have time to, you know, do all the background stuff that this one needs. But it's good enough for now. So I am curious. I've been asking the last few times because I really can't tell who downloads or if there are downloads from the Google Drive. But is that useful to you at all? Do you want me to keep doing it? No, don't care. Let me know. Now's the time. I'm probably going to have to also start deleting stuff. So if you missed some streams, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Oh, wow, we already hit 4 sketches. So this will be a 5-sketch stream. That's going to be pretty cool. I don't think we've had one of these in a while. I guess we're already at 5 if you count the warm-up sketch. So there's that. All right, final sketch. Let's see. We've got... Any tips on keeping body proportions when drawing in perspective? Yeah, I can do... Let's have that be the final topic. How about that? So, when I'm sketching the body in perspective, really I'm just kind of breaking things down like this. So if it's a top-down perspective, for example, I'm really dealing with something like this. Okay, and I like to think of the body parts in terms of cylinders. It just makes it that much easier for me, even the head, right? So you can see proportion-wise, it looks like this head is the same height as your calf, but in reality, that's certainly not the case. Okay, if I'm a body sitting down, you know, riding something like a bike or what have you. Let's go back. Let's just use this cylinder for the pelvis. Just 2 ellipses, and then we have the body here. Let's see, what are the arms doing? Maybe we're just sitting on the ground. Then yeah, really I'm just thinking about cylinders or boxes, you know, ways for me to, and you can kind of see the foreshortening here happening. Actually, let's see, if you're sitting down, this leg, maybe it's more up like this. And then you've got another leg, or another portion of the leg rather, out like this. You could even bring back this leg like so. Right, so it's just thinking about these things in terms of basic geometry that I think really help at least they help me kind of place things. So if there's a pose, if someone, let's see, let me think of an interesting pose, or just even talk about the body, but simple way I like to think about it. So you've got torso, pelvis, right, head, and then arms. And I'm no expert on the human body. I'm just figuring things out as I go. Okay, but this is kind of how I like to think about the human body. So if I wanted to just even come up with a pose, I can just start by drawing my cylinders, like so. Here's my torso, legs, head, maybe some fists, right? And then on top of all this, I can build. So whether it's a robot or human, let's say it's some robotic suit, because that's always easier, honestly, than drawing a real human. But I could draw some sort of exoskeleton here. But it's just a matter of, kind of just building on top of that. Maybe they have some sort of night vision thing, because we did night vision today. And helmet, maybe that extends out as they're holding on to whatever it is that they're holding on. But as far as like drawing the body, I find it just productive, for me anyways, to sketch things out in just this very geometric way, like so, right? So that becomes a concept sketch in and of its own. Maybe there's some kind of shield that's projected that can come out of this. And if you just keep your shapes somewhat rough and loose, you can then just take some quick marker and throw on top of this, again, in those shadowed areas, like on the far side of this leg, shadow core on this leg, part separation areas, and you're like pretty close. Okay, just like that. Even throw in some color accents. And you've got like a concept sketch of a human. Like, for me, that's what works. Do I ever talk at design conferences or events? Asked Caleb. Yes, I do, actually. I'm realizing I don't do a good enough job talking about the stuff I do, but I'm actually slated to speak at the International Design Conference for the Industrial Design Society of America sometime in September. I'll be one of 2 MCs. So I'll have a day where I'm MCing the whole thing and talking about everybody else's stuff, but also I'll be hosting a workshop. We're not entirely sure if that's going to be online or live yet. I don't know if I can say that, but I said it. But that's something I do. I presented Adobe Live Adobe Max. That's their annual creative conference. So I did that last year. And then there's smaller engagements that I do. I do a lot of workshops. Lately, those are shifting to virtual workshops. So if you're interested, hit me up. I can meet with your group, talk about your needs, and help you guys develop your skill sets and core competencies if you need that in a specific app, or it might be a specific methodology or a topic, either way. But yeah, I do speak at conferences and I host workshops. I speak quite a bit. All right, so there's my quick overview of perspective of a person. Like I said, all of these you can kind of easily turn into sketches. So here's one, for example, just adding a few things. Here's our deltoid, bicep, You know, if it's a woman, I like to kind of just come out, and you don't want to be creepy and weird and exaggerate things too much. So I try to just keep that simple. Hair, eyes, nose, all of that stuff. Like I have ways that I do lips, for example, if need be. Maybe there's dreads or something. I don't know. But either way, you can take these base forms and build on them in a way that allows you to just quickly so there's a foot. Right. Pretty simple. Maybe there's a shadow under here. But just by breaking this stuff, this one I want to make into a robot. But just by breaking stuff down, it really helps me anyways. Just take a lot of the stress out of things and just focus on kind of the design of these things. Now, as far as proportion goes, yes, you will need to actually observe what you see and figure out ways to represent those things. But once you get the hang of it, it's not too difficult, okay? All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. I'll do a quick recap. Catch me live again on Wednesday. We'll be live in the evening, probably around, I'd say 5 p.m. Pacific. So watch out for that. And then Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific as well. I'll be on Adobe Live. I'll post about those on the socials. So as long as you have subscribed and turned on alerts, you will see those, be able to be a part of that. Stephanie says she did not know about the Google Drive. Yeah, let me just post that link here for you. Check it out. Let me know what you think. But it should have all of the sketches from the last few months. And I scan those and upload them, or I take pictures, but high enough quality that you can see what I'm seeing. Because I don't want you to like watch the stream and then you're like, oh man, Spencer can't draw. So it's just a good way to kind of see a better representation of what it is I was doing, thinking, seeing, and so forth. All right. So check out the Google Drive. We'll be back live on Wednesday. In the meantime, I will be posting regular videos. I did post a video of a tablet this week. Turns out it was pretty, and I had a few complaints then. So I want to compare my thoughts then about what the product is now, and also compare that with using like an iPad Pro with my Mac as a tablet. So watch out for that. As always, good content will be coming your way. Thank you so much for the support. You can always use the PayPal or Venmo links if you want to pitch in, throw a tip. I do appreciate it, really, and it's not required. The fact that you guys are here, super important, means a lot. If you feel as though you got something from the stream, though, I want you to share that with someone. So either take an opportunity to teach, because when you teach, you learn, or just share the link. Either way. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.